What's up, guys? So I got a recent comment from a subscriber asking about how to wire B because of having X on another prior video. How to wire B. So I took the circuit board apart again, and I'm going to show you guys actually which points are for X, which points are for B, Y, and A. If you want to do all of that, I'm also wiring in to my other paddle on the other side so that I can run a sequential shifter that I am making. So I'm going to show you guys which points goes based on what I found. So as always, you know, you have one wire that you wire to the point, as based on the previous video, to one of the menu button points, and then the other one goes to one of the points that are up here. Now I'll overlay the image on which point is which for, you know, each individual part, because you have the original one, which I showed you guys before, which is X. Then you have this point right here is actually the B point, and then the point right above right there is your Y, and actually the point right below and to the right of the X is actually your A. So you use this one wire here and one on one of these to make your contact for your button. So I'll leave it overlaid again to show you guys the exact points on there. So before I go ahead and glue those on and show you guys how I'm doing, because I am putting a B in there as well, I'm going to solder in my other paddle shifter. So I'm going to go put this on the stand and I'm going to solder that in and show you guys that. Alright, so like I said, I'm soldering another wire into for the handbrake. As you can see right here, I have one side. Now this isn't actually for the handbrake, this is going to be for the sequential shifter, pardon me. Now I'm going to solder two more points here and here. I will leave an overlay of exactly which 2 points to solder it to get that to work for your paddle shifter. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to be running and building a sequential shifter so that instead of using the paddles, which are no longer on my wheel, I'll just be using the sequencer mod that I build to do it. Got the butane soldering iron out, trying to wait for it to get heated up.
No, not really, but my people, they stay strapped up. If this a race, well then you know I'm about to lap up. I be stressed trying to make the time pass. Will somebody please light up that gas? A young New Orleans boy, she said she loved it. A young New Orleans boy, she said she loved it. A young New Orleans boy, she said she loved it. You gotta give it to me, cause you know I love it. Yeah, I'm loving, I'm tipsy, cause I've been sipping on Henny.
Alright, so now as you can see, I have 2 wires on that one, 2 wires on that one. So now I can run it fully to 2 button switches that will be on either side of my sequential shifter so that it just activates the paddles. So instead of actually hitting the paddles, you're just hitting a button which activates paddles in the game, essentially working as a sequential shifter. So now I'm going to close this back up and we're going to get to the wiring, gluing on of the B and the X again.
Hit the scene and go retarded. All my people looking flawless now. I got those sneakers that will make you think I'm ballin' now. You need a hook, I got your feature, that's my calling card. You think I'm falling, but I'm on again and starting now. About to go harder than ever, I take my time getting better. I'm going after the shutter, it got me moving so careful. Gotta watch out for you haters, y'all be plotting on me. Little do you know I got that whopper on me. Yeah, I'm with my people tonight. We gon' drink it up, we gon' live it up right. We gon' pop bottles, we gon' do it all night. And we gon' spend this cash like it's our last only. We don't need no sleep, we don't need no sleep. Now baby, put that body on me. We don't need no sleep, we don't need no sleep. Now baby, put that body on me. I'm getting better, I'm going up.
So now that we're back here, I'm doing the same method as I did before in the previous video on the hot glue method. I'll leave the link down below for the previous video when I did the X initially. Basically, same concept applies. Wire with a little bit of solder on it, make it a nice and hard tip, and then you just take it and place it onto the point so that it makes contact, and push it downwards and make sure it's making contact with that point. Like I said, it does kind of drop in, so we're going to make sure that this is only touching the B and none of the other ones. I'm gonna wire this, run this around like so. That's good right there. I'm just gonna hold that down on the point where I want it to be. And get it glued into place. Alright, so now I have X and B all glued on. Yeah, there's a lot of glue there. Like I said before in the other video, it doesn't affect anything, it doesn't hurt it. So you have one wire coming from B, one wire coming from the X pin, and then you have your single wire coming from the pin on the menu. So now, if you wanted to run both buttons on different, external switches, you would need a second one of these wires. But since I'm only going to be running them one at a time, I'm going to use this same wire and just use the single, plug the red wire into the other side of the switch, or the blue and red wire into the other side of the switch for B or X. I just realized I color coded these without even meaning to. So if I have the red wire plugged in to one side of my button and then this blue with yellow chaser plugged in the other side of the button, my B will activate. If I have the blue with red chaser on one side of the switch and this on the other side of the switch, my X will activate by my handbrake. Now, like I said, if you wanted to run both B and X on external switches, you would just get another one of these wires, solder it to the same point, and have two wires going off instead of just one. But I'm using pigtails so I can interchange it and change it between games that I'm playing. Sorry for the camera work. So now I'm going to go get this all closed back up, make sure it all works. I will overlay the images again for the buttons and the points on the back, so that you can get an idea on what you need to do. I will leave the link for the original setup video where I took everything apart to get to this part, as well as the other one for the X that shows exactly how I did the X by itself, which will give you the idea on how to do the B wire itself as well. Like I said, you just basically hold the wire down onto that point, glue it down. I would recommend hot glue because it doesn't damage anything, and if it doesn't get right, you can take it off and pull it off again. Because if you notice, I do have another wire here. That wire is for something else that I am not telling you about. But like I said, I am doing a new handbrake to a different button, as well as I am doing a sequential shifter. So I have my two sets of wires to my paddles for my sequential shifter that I'm building. So look forward to that coming to the channel. I'll give a full tutorial on how I did that. So let's get this all hooked up, back up, make sure it all works. I hope this helps you guys out a little bit and makes it a little bit easier. If you got any questions, feel free to email me. The email is in the description box below if you want to see the pictures closer up or whatnot. So, until the next video, guys, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Hope this helps out, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
I want something